Hello, and welcome to the Cosmic Force Vlog. I'm Mark, and I love Star Wars just so much. So much so, in fact, that I have put together this rewatch of the 8 saga films leading up to the Rise of Skywalker in December, and I'm not just doing it alone. I have also roped in my wife, Stephanie, and our good friend and roommate, Matt, to share in the experience. And today, we are watching The Last Jedi, also the last movie in our saga rewatch before The Rise of Skywalker comes out in about a week and a half. And we're all so excited. Can't wait. We all love this movie very, very much for so many reasons. And we just have so many questions from this movie going forward to the next one, you know? So, we can't wait to discuss it, to rewatch it, to share our thoughts and opinions. And we hope that you guys will share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comments or on social media. Let's get into it and pass it over to these guys with some questions. So we're about to watch Episode 8, The Last Jedi, the final movie in the saga rewatch that we've been doing for quite a while now, right? The last couple months?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one has been my favorite Star Wars of all the Star Wars, but will this change with this viewing? We'll see.
Yeah, and this is only your second time
Yeah.
watching it, right?
That's my second time.
That's nuts.
I think it might be my third.
Oh, wow. I've
Yeah.
seen it significantly more times. Although, I don't even know if it is significantly more. I've seen it so many times, I couldn't give it an approximate number, because it's one of those things where it's like, if I'm writing something, I'll just have it playing in the background, or I'll watch it with like the score only on my laptop or something. And, so I've seen it just kind of blurs together for me. But I love it too. I love it. It sounds like a low ranking. It's in my top 5, but that shouldn't speak low of it, because even, as I said with our episode 2 video, my 9th favorite Star Wars is still one of my favorite Star Wars. So
It's a good episode. It's a really good episode. A lot happens in it. There's some real character progressions. This is where Mark Hamill finally gets like all of his screen time that we were waiting for in this segment of the series.
Mm.
And there's the famous Kylo Ren shirtless pic.
Ben Swolo.
Princess Leia, General Leia, has her Mary Poppins moment. She gets to
She does move like Mary
displays
Poppins.
the Force.
I know,
yeah.
but I just I cringe every time I hear somebody refer to it
It's still
as
cool, you know.
It
That's
is
just what
very
it looks
cool.
like.
Yeah.
I hate when people refer to it disparagingly, because it's just like Carrie Fisher has been involved in the scripts on every Star Wars movie that she was in, and The Last Jedi was the last one that she got to be involved in on the script. And if she had any issues with it, it would have been changed, I'm sure.
I wish she
And
would
so,
have displayed. I mean, I already talked about this in the other movies, but just they've done more with the Force in her.
Yeah.
Besides just that.
Well, apparently in Colin Trevorrow's script for Episode 9, she wields a lightsaber, and everybody was like, "Oh, like we should have had Trevorrow direct it," you know. But I'm just like, nah. Jurassic World, get out of here.
Back to this one though.
Yeah.
This has one of my favorite scenes of any of the Star Wars movies in it.
Mm-hmm. Me too, but I'm not sure which one you're.
Well,
talking
it's
about.
the scene where Admiral
Vice Admiral Holdo.
Thank you. Yeah, Vice Admiral Holdo flies the cruiser through the
Dreadnought.
The Dreadnought. Yeah, at light speed, and the way that occurred on the big screen when we saw it in the theater was just amazing to me. My heart skipped a beat, and I had this really just like moment, and it just the way it's shot, the way the lighting works on it, and all
the sound.
Oh yeah,
the
use of sound or the non-use of sound.
Yeah,
you know, it's just going silent for that. They really want you to soak that in, and boy, did I soak that in. And it's my favorite shot from any of the Star Wars movies.
Oh wow,
it really is.
That's awesome. Theaters, I don't know if you saw this, but theaters had to release a disclaimer or a warning for
the strobe effect.
Dum-dums who might have thought like, what happened to the sound? Did the sound just go out in the theater? I want my money back. You know, like there'd be signs at the box office saying there's a portion of this movie where the sound cuts out for like 3 or 4 seconds or whatever. This is normal. This is a creative decision by the filmmakers, and it's just
Wow.
like, come on.
Wait a minute.
Like,
So people just like they were watching the movie. There was no sound, and within a second,
within
like,
a second, what?
no
What's going
sound.
on?
Okay, I'm gone. And like 4 seconds later, they're already out asking
Minority
Oh,
on
okay.
the
the sound come back on as they were exiting. Like it
on the
take
edge
me,
of their seat, just waiting.
it take me 4 seconds just to be like, wait a minute, the sound's off.
Yeah.
You know, by then the sound's already back on.
I also think that the sound cutting out in that shot is like one of the most striking and memorable sound cues since the closest thing I can think of is in episode 2 when Jango Fett is chasing Obi-Wan and he fires that concussion grenade. Do you remember that in like the asteroid field?
Oh, when he's chasing Han Solo.
No, in episode 2.
Episode 2. Oh,
He's following Obi-Wan is chasing Jango Fett to Kamino and he fires that concussion grenade and it's just like it's just silence and it's like wow, you know, and and it just shatters all those asteroids. Anyway, those are like the 2 best sound cues. But I mean, that episode 2 one really doesn't even hold a candle to the impact, because it's not even just Holdo crashing into the dreadnought. It's also like the lightsabers splitting in half. It's also Finn and Rose about to get the executioner's chop. It all culminates in that one moment, you know?
Yeah.
So good. Like, how do you map a story that precise to have everybody's kind of climax all occur in the same moment?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's really good.
Careful plotting.
There's some beautiful color palette work
Mhm.
done in this one when they're on Crate.
That red and white.
That salt planet. You know, it's really lovely how they do that, and it just. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too.
And it's really cool to see Ben and Ray, how they have those like force.
Force time?
Joint
Force time.
Yeah, force time. Like,
Yeah.
Like they are visions, but they're shared dreams. Like I don't even know what you call it. I mean, you're calling it force time, but I don't know what the legit name is of that.
But I'm with you. I was just thinking that it's neat. They have these interactions, and there's one particular one that stands out for me when they come together in that space again, and they're both just like, no, not right now. And they're like, okay, goodbye.
Talk to you later.
Like,
and he like grows a fondness for her, so that was kind of unexpected and cool, you know.
Yeah. Like seeing their relationship grow in intimacy from, I mean, like she slashes up his face in the last movie, and he probes her mind in the last movie, but in this one, it's like she first calls him a monster, and he's like, yes, I am, you know. And then he shares with her the tragic miscommunication between him and Luke that led him down this path. And yeah, they just grow so much more intimate. She thinks she can turn him. He thinks he can turn her.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that throne room scene too. Like when I saw that in theaters, I audibly laughed when he was just like, your parents were nobody. Like they were just filthy junk traders. Spoilers if you haven't seen the movie. But you should be watching this if you haven't. I mean, this movie subverts expectations famously, but I was just like, what a fun way to kind of derail all of this like theorizing and just kind of like trying to connect the dots, and it's just like, nope, like this is telling a different kind of story. This is not all about the contrivances. It sounds like a critical word in this context, but I don't mean it that way. I just mean like they're not building everything up on this one twist, at least in this middle chapter.
Yeah. Well, and I think when we all went into The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, there was all of this thought surrounding, you know, like Rey's origins. Like, is she the daughter of Luke Skywalker? I mean, there's got to be some big connection. And I think the message that is portrayed in this, particularly in this film, is that it doesn't being a legend in the Force, or just being part of the Force, doesn't require a bloodline.
Right, yeah.
You know, it happens. And
or to be a hero, you know?
Yeah. You know, and I think that's really the point that they want to drive home, and it's inspiring. It's another story for a new generation of, you know, up and coming children, you know, especially in that last scene, you know, on that one system, the casino system.
Oh, Cantabite. Yeah.
Cantabite, yeah. I mean, the final scenes there at the end of the movie, it really relates that. that it could be anybody.
Yeah.
And
speaking of, not to cut you off, but I was thinking about how in this movie Rose kind of follows a similar journey in that she starts off so enamored when she meets Finn, right? That she's like, oh my god, a real life resistance hero. I just work on the mechanical stuff. I never thought I'd be meeting a resistance hero. But by the end of the movie, she becomes a resistance hero. It's not like you have to be, Poe Dameron, hotshot X-Wing pilot. It's like you can be the mechanic, and just if you make heroic decisions, you can become a hero too.
Vice Admiral Hodo, will become an immortal, hero because of her brilliant maneuver. Heroes can come from any place.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to this final movie, The Rise of Skywalker, that's going to help finalize everything. And maybe we're going to, in this rewatch, we'll see some clues as to what's going to happen. I don't think so. I think it's structured so well at this point that they aren't leaving you this breadcrumb trail. It's simply, here's the story. We're sorry you don't know what's going to happen. But it's going to make what happens in this final chapter to come out that much more impactful.
Much more satisfying, yeah. Because, we don't know. I love being alive and being a Star Wars fan at this such a small, short period of time, where we just don't know. But then after the 21st, we will know. Like, everybody will know, And, we'll just know how this entire 42-year spanning story concludes. And what else can you really say that about?
Wow, 42 years?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's astonishing to even try to wrap your head around. We don't have anything else like that in our culture.
Another thing to bring up is obviously Luke. How everyone was hating on the fact that he was a curmudgeon. I mean,
not everyone. A certain vocal minority on the internet.
I personally didn't mind it. I kind of liked it because it kind of you think, oh, the Jedi, they're this pure, infallible, religion, and then he's just kind of nah, the Jedi are a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
So it just kind of flips it a little bit, and it's it wasn't a perfect system, the Jedi Order. It's
the first time we get an in-universe look at in the text of just criticism of the Jedi Order, from somebody who is in a position to be favorable toward the Jedi Order. He was a Jedi, and is a Jedi.
Well, he was and is a Jedi, but he isn't a Jedi in the sense of what we knew or now know the Jedi were. He came after the Jedi, so he wasn't even a Jedi in the sense of what Jedi were. He's a different type of Jedi, and I think
fraction of the backflips of a real Jedi.
And I think being raised that way into becoming a Jedi allowed him a different perspective, because he didn't go through all that temple, raising and rearing that taught him this one narrow-minded path to go down. He was able to view Jediism as a bigger picture.
Yeah, he was able to see the whole thing,
and that leads to where he is now. And he sets it, plainly that, like you said, the Jedi were wrong, but and then we kind of leave it right there. I wonder how that's going to continue into the next one, especially in now that he's dead, and so his Force Ghost appearance, how that's going to work and play into this. We see that Yoda's Force Ghost has come back. These characters are still existing out there, and how are they going to come into it in the last one? And will they come into it in the last one? Will we see, Obi-Wan as a Force Ghost? Will we see? So cool. What's going to happen here? Is there going to be this more celestial, metaphysical side of the battle that we've never experienced before in the Star Wars universe?
Apparently, George Lucas, that was his original outline for 7, 8, 9, was that it would culminate in some kind of Force Ghost, not battle, but the Force Ghosts basically help the hero defeat the evil. So it'll be cool. Any final thoughts going into the movie before we start it?
I'm ready.
You're ready?
Let's
the mind is ready.
I'm excited to watch some porgs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is not what I heard for a second there. Porgs. So Star Wars has had this habit of really like throwing us some cute creatures. We had the Ewoks. Well, no, first it was the Jawas were kind of cute. Then there was the Ewoks, and then we had porgs, and now we have Baby Yoda.
The king of all Star Wars cuteness.
It just doesn't get cuter,
Or queen.
But,
I don't really know the baby's sex.
That's true. It could be a girl.
Could be. We don't know. All it does is squeak.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see so many Baby Yodas for Halloween.
I know.
Oh yeah, I hadn't even considered that.
We're ready to do this. It's the final countdown.
Yeah. Yeah. Last Jedi, everybody. Get stoked. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. I can't believe we're here at the end. Woo! This is
Long and winding road.
dun 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 dun. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, let's do it.
We'll see you on the other side.
Last Jedi. Alright, so we did it. We watched The Last Jedi, and whoo! What a movie.
Long one, too.
Yeah, longest.
Yeah, longer than I remember.
Yeah.
It's apparently even longer than The Rise of Skywalker now.
Oh, really?
So they've announced like the final time, and I think it's like 3 minutes longer or something than The Rise of Skywalker.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Well, I also see it that maybe the end game does come down to a somewhat union between Rey and Kylo.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
They are two sides of the same coin. She is light, he is dark. There is that understanding. He has a conflict in him that is being expressed as a weakness, but is a weakness truly a weakness? Is it, or can it be a strength?
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's got a little bit of darkness in her. So I think that's the balance that we're all meant to learn about in the next film, is that you have to embody both to really be...
I mean, I don't know about embody both. It's like, do you have to be like a psychopath and a saint in order to reach a balance?
Well, I mean, I don't mean in these extreme sense, but I mean, you can't you have to have an understanding of both.
Yeah.
To really be effective.
Yeah, I relate this idea of balance to kind of the Buddhist idea of like the middle path, where it's like, if you take for instance Luke appearing on Crate at the end, which this viewing I've now decided I'm pretty sure my favorite sequence or scene across every Star Wars movie. It really just, it's so perfect. It looks great, but it's also at the heart of what is so very Star Wars, which is non-violence, finding that middle compromise that often in the Star Wars universe involves self-sacrifice of some sort. Like in Return of the Jedi, it was, what were Luke's options? Fight Vader, maybe beat him, and then fight the Emperor, maybe beat him, and then what? Then he's just killed 2 people, something he doesn't believe in, to maybe save his friends, but maybe if he defeated Vader, as the Emperor's plan was, he would just become the Emperor's new apprentice. So it's like, by beating his enemy, he becomes his enemy, and it's just all for what? And in this too, it's just like, oh, he long ago betrayed and nearly murdered his nephew, who his sister trusted him with. So what's the solution? To go back and fight his nephew and maybe kill him? Like, no, he doesn't want to kill his nephew. He's filled with so much regret and depression over the fact that he did act out of this kind of anxiety and fear, that of like what Ben would become. So it's just like, he couldn't go back and fight him. That would be wrong. But it's also wrong, he recognizes, to just completely stay out and act like it's not his problem, because he does care about these people. It is also his fight, and so he finds that perfect compromise where he's just like, I will not act on any violence, and I will also not allow any violence to befall my friends, you know? And it's just so good.
I'm reminded of a line from Kung Fu Panda, where Master Oogway tells Po, or not Po, it tells one other character, man often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it.
Right, yeah.
And Luke saw a darkness, saw a future in Ben Solo. And his actions to attempt to prevent that future are what actually
drove him,
allowed that future to come to pass,
yeah.
versus doing nothing. And I see the same sort of thing possibly happening in the upcoming film. You know, Ben is so desperate to, you know, to snuff out the light in him that's ultimately going to bring the light out. And Rey is so desperate to, you know, to find her peace that it may drive her further from it. You know, and possibly that's how it goes down, is she slips and Ben ends up saving her, and that's his redemption.
Yeah.
You know, because we have to, if for this to be a full circle story and for history to repeat itself as it so constantly does in this universe, you know, for there to be a redemption of Kylo Ren in the same sense that there was a redemption for Darth Vader, he's got to save someone, and I think it might be Rey that he saves.
Yeah. You
know, maybe even sacrificing himself to do so, but his redemption will probably be saving her.
Yeah, man, I really hope that they manage to Rubik's Cube their way out of this problem and somehow redeem Ben while also having him survive. And, you know, really, I just want him redeemed so I can get that sweet Pop Funko of Ben Solo in the white robes. I want that.
Like, what is you mentioned that before? Like, what is this you're referencing?
Is
this your imagination?
Yeah, okay. I have hope that Ben is going to just be not like an ultimate goody two shoes, but like, you know, like the gold standard of Jedi. Like he and Rey cut from the same cloth, two birds of a feather.
What about that too? When it comes to being a Jedi master, like, what's more fitting than a Jedi who once walked the path of darkness?
Right.
He'd have a full understanding of the dark side, true comprehension of it, you know, because he was there. And if he comes back from that, it would, at least in my opinion, make him the ideal candidate to perhaps teach a new generation of Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, because he knows both sides.
And he knows, like, more than anybody about, like, the allure of the dark side.
It's kind of like those NA meetings. It's usually led by someone who was a
they got the craziest stories. Yeah. They just seem all calm and, like, infinitely patient, but that's because, you know, they were holding up liquor stores or...
Yeah, because you're not going to have someone who didn't go through that, like...
Leading others.
Yeah, because they wouldn't know how to relate to them.
Yeah, it does prime him for a good leadership position.
Yeah, well, because, like, you know, he can tell the younglings coming up. It's like, it's okay to be angry. Just don't act on that. It's okay to love and feel emotion towards other people. You know, attachment is good. It teaches you to be empathetic. You know, which is not what the original Jedi way was. It was avoid anger, avoid hate.
Yeah, it was
feel
like
no emotion.
Self-denial.
Yeah.
Just repression of
baby boomers.
All the passions.
Yeah, let go of all your attachments, you know. And I think I think it's better to have attachments, you know, healthy attachments. So it'd be really neat to see how this comes out. Maybe there is no Jedi at the end. Maybe it is just done.
They did save the books, which I didn't notice before.
Oh yeah, the sacred Jedi texts.
But maybe like they kind of do a thing where they have those, and then they have like additional new texts that kind of are supplementary.
Yeah,
I'm
like the New Testament or something.
Nothing against Rey. I was just going to say something that could be interpreted as disparaging against Rey, and I do not intend for it to come across that way. But I was like, you think Rey can read? Just because I'm like, she was dropped off on a desert planet as a scrapper.
Because she's like really good with like technological stuff. I'm sure at some point she learned.
She can understand droids.
Yeah.
I would imagine she's got a basic skill like reading.
Yeah, she can read. When
That
she said,
wouldn't happen.
I
She
need
can
someone to
read.
show me my place in this. I need a teacher. What she really meant was, I need somebody to show me how to read.
She knows how to read.
She knows how to
This is
read.
funny.
Yeah.
You had a really good insight, Steph, about Luke Skywalker coming into his
Oh my gosh.
you know,
Basically, well, we know he's old now, but what really sealed the deal is when he like winked at C-3PO. Just like
it's like you don't know what it means.
Yeah, it's like, why did he wink at him? It's like, why does any old guy wink at you? You know what I mean? Just like throughout my life, different old men have winked at me. I don't know why. It's just like it's a mystery. Like, do they know? You know? I don't think they do. They just like wink it.
It's official.
Yeah.
Luke's over the hill.
Yeah, that's how you know that he was gonna die. It's like, oh, that's like, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's not really dead.
That was a beautiful.
What?
No, because you know they go.
Nobody
on
ever
to
really
the,
does, or no one's ever really.
Well, at
gone.
least Jedi's.
They just go back to the Force.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful astral projection scene. You know, that's the first time we see it in any Star Wars
Yeah.
film. And you know, he's not a Force ghost because there's a level of glow about you when you're that. I mean, this was very clean and tangible in feel. He's able to interact and touch, and
He used that just for men to get his hair back
Oh,
to
I-
its natural luster.
like, yeah, trimmed beard and everything. But it was very wonderful interaction, and I think it was a beautiful moment to see that reunion between him and Leia. That I remember the first time watching it. All I wanted in the whole movie was like, please let the two of them come together again.
Yeah.
You know, for a goodbye, because you know that would have broken my heart if he or her would have gone without any last reunion. So I'm very happy that happened.
Me too.
Oh, another parallel that I noticed, like, was when, going back to Darth Vader and Obi-Wan's fight, and when like Obi-Wan disappeared and he had the cloak on the floor, and Darth Vader with his like, what the hell was that? You know?
Where he like
Pats
pushes it with his
yeah,
foot.
pushes it. And then something similar happened where like Ben like tries to kill Luke, and then it just goes through him. He's like, oh my god! So it's just like 2 times where
Just, like pokes him in the chest
yeah,
with his
just
lightsaber.
like you real.
What
What
are you?
Yeah, so like twice, like the light side is like blown the minds of the dark side. It's like, did I pick the right side? You know?
Like, I never learned
Yeah,
this
like,
power.
just
Like we were talking about with the New Hope, where it's just like, did he shrink?
yeah, is he lit on
I
that?
squish you.
I know you're in there somewhere. But yeah, it's gonna be good. And what was that one reaction video from one of the actors who had done a pre-screening, and he posted that little thing that was like, he said it's perfect. It made him cry.
Oh god, why can't I remember his name? British actor he was from With No and I.
Yeah.
Oh god, Richard E. Grant.
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant. Yeah, he posted this very emotional reaction to having seen The Rise of Skywalker the night before, and he got kind of weepy-eyed. And just watching him talk about it, I was like, oh my god, my heart.
So I expect it's going to be moving for me too.
Yeah.
And however it goes down, it's going to be moving. I don't believe we're going to see Phasma in it. But I won't stake any wager on that. But it felt like she was gone in that one.
Like, I know if you guys watch Star Wars Explained at all, I know Alex and Molly said their predictions for Episode 9. Alex said seeing Force Ghost Anakin, which is also mine. If I had one wish, it would be that we get to see Force Ghost Anakin. If I had a second wish, it's that... and Molly also said that she thinks we'll see Phasma again. And I really want to see Cyborg Phasma in some form. I didn't hate her small appearance in this, but I do wish that she got to do more, because I've read Delilah Dawson's book. I'm invested in the character, you know, I want to see more.
So it's still my favorite. At first I was like, is it? You know, but then like just watching the whole thing, I'm just like, yeah, it is. Except the Canto Bite scene and like them riding those, I forget the name of those horse things, but I'm just like, oh, this scene is cringy. And I know I mentioned to you that I was annoyed with Rose the first time I saw it. I was a lot less annoyed with her this time.
Okay.
But she still kind of has like a homeschooly vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I don't know what it is.
I've not heard that before.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
I think in the comic here, it kind of expresses that she is homeschooled because her dad's like an engineer.
There's
So-
Rose. So I had these two read the Rose issue from Age of Resistance Heroes before we had the rewatch today, because I think it offers like a cool bit of backstory about Rose and her sister Paige and how they joined the Resistance and what happened to their home, and also just kind of a cool, not exactly foreshadowing, but a cool parallel to Rose saving Finn in this, because Leia does kind of a similar thing for Paige and Rose in the comic. But if you haven't read it, check it out. It's neat.
But I don't think that she should be bullied online, jerks.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
not doing that.
Uncalled for.
Yeah, like, okay, she's mildly annoying in the movie. But, you know, she's essential to the movie. She helps it. You know, she has cool parts, too.
So how many people were left at the end of all of that? Like
Like
8,
a dozen or something?
less, it felt like.
Yeah.
Like maybe 8 of them that came out of that cavern?
Because they're like, no, they're more than 8. But yeah, I'd say definitely not enough people to fit on the Millennium Falcon, you know?
Plenty of seating.
What's the name of the purple hair?
Vice Admiral Amelin Holdo.
I'll just call her Haldo.
Okay.
I feel like she should have just told Poe the plan, you know? Just
You
tell
know-
him the plan, you know?
You know, a lot of people say that, but like watching it this time, I took the entire Poe Holdo conflict as almost like an allegorical setup against anxiety, and in favor of like faith and just trusting, like, you'll be fine, or like just steady on, you know? And they even spell it out, saying, like, as Leia used to say, if you only believe in the sun when you can see it, you'll never make it through the night. You know, you have to just have faith that everything is not, you know, in crisis, everything is not doomed. Just keep doing the best that you can with what you have. And in the end, Holdo was employing wisdom, and Poe was employing rashness and impulsiveness.
I still think she should have told him.
But anyway, this has been our rewatch of the entire saga.
Mhm.
How crazy! This is the first time I've ever watched through all of them
In
in
order...
sequential order or episodic order, and
that's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm
I mean-
excited. Just less than a couple of weeks now until the
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker. I can't believe it.
So this is it. We're waiting for that last piece of the puzzle, the last
Yeah.
chapter of the story. We'll see you again some other time, everybody.
Yeah.
May the force be with you.
Godspeed, rebels.
Godspeed, rebels. So there you have it, folks. The Last Jedi, the final film in our saga rewatch before the Rise of Skywalker, and boy do we love it. So much. It's got like, my favorite scene of any Star Wars movie in it, between Luke and Kylo at the end. And I can't believe we're here at the end of our 8-film saga rewatch over like more than 2 months of doing these. I'm gonna miss it. But we're still gonna be back with our responses to the Rise of Skywalker. Woo woo! When we see that. And and keep following us. Subscribe if you want more of this, because we're just gonna keep making these Star Wars videos, because it's fun and we like it. And I mean, not to toot our own horn, but we're getting better at it, you know? I know I'm gonna want to put my thoughts down about The Mandalorian, about, there's so much stuff coming our way, so maybe like reviews of books, reviews of comics, it's a bold new future of Star Wars material coming our way, and I want to be there for all of it, and I hope you're there too, you out there in YouTube land. So come, find us on social media or start a conversation in the comments. We want to build a community, of people who love Star Wars. Have chats and get to know each other, build relationships, build communities, all that fun stuff. So stick around, subscribe if you like this stuff, because it's just gonna keep coming at you. But until then, good journey, and may the Force be with you.